Hey, welcome back. It's Jason Walter here. In today's housing market update, I'm going to share a brand new report that was just released this morning. It breaks down how home prices have been affected by this pandemic in the United States, including which regions and states have been doing the best and which ones have been hit the hardest. I'm also going to share with you the top 5 cities in the United States that have the highest risk of a home price decline by November 2021. Is that in your city? Stay tuned for that report. And before we get started on this video, I just have a quick favor to ask, and that is to hit the like button. I greatly appreciate that because placing comments on my videos, watching them, hitting the like button, and sharing them with your friends helps support the channel, and I greatly appreciate that. And of course, please subscribe if you haven't done so already. I post videos about how this pandemic is affecting our real estate market and really enjoy making these videos for you. Okay, thank you so much for doing that. And let's go ahead and dive into the video about these reports I want to share with you today. Actually, I have a couple reports to share with you today, but the first one is compliments of CoreLogic. It was just released today at the time of this video, which is January 5th, 2021. Happy New Year, everyone. In any case, they released this Home Price Index highlights, which is their HPI. They released that for November 2020. So they noted that home prices in the U.S. increased 8.2% year over year in November. However, they're forecasting that home prices are going to still accelerate, but slow in next year or this year until November 2021 of an increase of 2.5%. So they're forecasting that the growth rate is going to slow drastically. So CoreLogic states that the increase of 8.2% was the highest year-over-year gain since March 2014. So almost 6 years, which is quite remarkable. Home sales for the year of 2020 are also expected to be above 2019 levels. So that's quite remarkable because our housing inventory in the U.S. is down about 22% compared to 1 year ago, yet home sales are going to be greater than they were in 2019. So like I noted there, they're forecasting that the growth rate is going to be 2.5% by November 2021, but that would be the lowest increase in annual home prices since March 2012. So an 8-year difference there. They also have a really good graphic here showing the last 6 recessions in the United States to see how home prices have changed during those times. So they have from 1980, in the 1980s, early 2001, the last recession in 81 to 82, and so on and so forth. But almost every single one of the last 6 recessions have had home prices decrease. However, this year is a complete anomaly. As you can see here, the first month during a recession in 2020, if you do want to call that a recession, was more or less flat early on this year, but ever since about May of 2020, home prices shot up, which is obviously vastly different than what happened in 2008 and 2009. In addition, CoreLogic also noted that home price growth has increased in all of their 4 price tiers. So they have a low price tier, a low to middle price tier, a middle to moderate, and high price. And how they calculate that is based on the median home price. So a low price, they're considering that to be homes priced at 75% or less of the median home price in the United States. A low to middle would be 75 to 100% of the median home price, and middle to moderate price would be between 100% and 125% of the median, and then high price would be greater than 125% of the median home price in the United States. So they're stating that out of all those 4 price tiers, we had a home price increase. And look at this. This is since 2012. So what more or less it was flat in 2019, like I mentioned in my previous videos. But in the middle of 2020, home prices have shot through the roof thanks to record low interest rates and also high buyer demand and low inventory. So they say that home price growth has accelerated in all 4 price tiers this year to the highest rates since late 2013 to early 2014. The lowest price tier increased 12% year over year, and the highest price tier increased 8.4%. So let's talk about the different regions and states and how those have been affected by this pandemic, because there's a big disparity here. So here's figure 3. It shows the top 5 states in the U.S. who had a highest increase in their HPI, which is, again, their home price index, CoreLogic's index. If you see here, Idaho had the highest price appreciation in the whole United States for November 2020, and that was an increase of 15.7%, whereas North Dakota only increased 3.8%. However, all states showed annual increases in the HPI in November. So even though North Dakota was last on the list here of price appreciation of just under 4%, it still had a price appreciation. So every state experienced this in November 2020, according to CoreLogic. So Louisiana, DC, Iowa, New York, and North Dakota were on the bottom of the list, and Idaho, Maine, Indiana, Montana, Arizona were at the top of the list. All right, let's dive deeper into this. So I have some cities to share with you to show which cities have been affected the most by this pandemic, and also which ones they are forecasting to be hit hardest in 2021. But first, I want to go over this because I have a really good quote here. It said, while the pandemic left many in positions of financial insecurity, those who maintained employment and income stability are also incentivized to buy given the record low mortgage rates available. Right now, the average 30-year fixed rate mortgage is around 2.66%. So record low interest rates, which is, I think, 14 times last year that we had records set for that. In any case, they say this is increasing buyer demand while the for sale inventory is short in supply. They go on to say that the continued rise in home prices increases down payment requirements and also causes issues with home affordability, leaving lower income families in rentals and price out of the home purchase market. I talk a lot about this on my YouTube channel where home prices have been increasing so much, but interest rates have not been decreasing at the same level. So what's happening is that home prices have been increasing every single month, more or less, and that is becoming an affordability issue for many Americans in the U.S. So slowing buyer demand coupled with more supply in the coming year is reflected in their forecasts. So they're forecasting that the HPI or the home prices are going to be increasing at a much lower rate next year because of slowing buyer demand and also with more supply. More houses going to be hitting the market. I agree with this because I think that we're going to have more inventory in 2021, but we'll have to see. All depends on vaccine distribution and whether or not people want to get their houses listed for sale. However, it states that possible stimulus actions could help spur home buyer demand among low and middle income families and support stronger home price growth. We will see, and I'll definitely keep you posted about that. The chief economist for CoreLogic also had a great quote here. It said lower priced home values increase about 1.5 times faster than higher price value homes in November, as first-time home buyers tend to seek out homes within the lower price ranges. And speaking of first-time home buyers, according to the National Association of Realtors, about 33% of all the home buyers in the U.S. As of November were from first-time home buyers. All right, let's look at the map here and show which states have been faring the greatest. So they said that no states posted an annual decline in home prices in November. So when you click on here, it shows you the top 10 states in the U.S. that had the biggest year-over-year price increase for their houses. So Idaho led the map here, and then Maine, Indiana, Montana, Arizona, and then we had Utah, New Hampshire, Vermont, Missouri, and Rhode Island. Any of my viewers live in these states. I'd love to hear from you. Comment below with what you're seeing in your real estate market because this is pretty remarkable. Idaho increasing almost 16% compared to 1 year ago. Obviously, that has to do with affordability, right? A lot of people are flocking from areas that are more expensive like New York and San Francisco, where they can work from home and move into a more affordable area like Idaho and Sacramento, for example. All right, so the HPI, the top 10 metro changes. So Phoenix led the pack with an increase of 12.6%. We also had 9.5% in San Diego. Los Angeles had an increase of 7.2%. Again, this is year over year HPI changes from November 2019 to November 2020. In addition, Miami had kind of low price appreciation of 5.5%, along with Houston. So let's talk about the top markets at risk of a home price decline by November 2021. They have and local markets obviously will continue to vary. So in Phoenix, they say have a severe shortage of houses available for sale, and that has continued to push home prices upward. So that's why they have an increase of 12.6% year over year in November. In contrast, New York, Jersey City, and White Plains Metro recorded a smaller than average annual increase of only 3.2%. So when you look at Phoenix versus New York and Jersey City, they have increased at much lower rates. But in any case, here's the top markets at risk of a home price decline according to CoreLogic. So they say the number one ranking city that's at greatest risk is Prescott, Arizona, then Lake Charles, Louisiana, Miami after that, and then Brownsville in Texas, and then Gulfport in Mississippi. So I have no idea where some of these cities are, so I actually looked it up for you. So Prescott, Arizona is in just north of Phoenix. Lake Charles is just east of Houston, Texas. And then again, Brownsville in Texas has a number 4 on the list there. That is just east of Houston. And then Gulfport, Mississippi. I had no idea whether that was. Never been to Mississippi before. Just east of New Orleans. So right on the border there of the Gulf of Mexico. And it says that Houston was hit hard by the collapse of the oil industry. Obviously, oil prices actually tanked early on during this pandemic. And obviously the recent hurricane season, they're saying that prices are expected to decline 1.4% by November 2021. However, in San Diego, beautiful San Diego, I actually lived in Del Mar one summer. Absolutely beautiful place to live. But they say that prices are forecasted to increase 8.3% over the next 12 months as low inventory continues to increase home prices there. And by the way, CoreLogic HPI, or the home price index, they're looking at single family houses, whether they're attached or detached, but they're looking at all single family houses that have sold in the US, and that's how they construct their HPI. In addition, their HPI forecasts, that's based on disposable income per capita and also changes in the unemployment rate in that region. So let's dive into this other report I want to share with you. This is compliments of the National Association of Realtors. This is for November 2020 existing home sales, and that is basically all home sales that are not brand new. So existing home sales data, they actually decreased 2.5% from October 2020. However, November sales of existing houses increased 25.8% from November 2019. As you can see here, this is over the last 1 year. Home prices absolutely shot through the roof ever since May to levels well above what we saw last year. And right now, the median home price for existing houses in the U.S. is just shy of a record low. I believe the record low is around $312,000, $311,000. But the median home price right now is $310,800, and that is up 14.6% from a year ago. That is the 105th consecutive month-over-month gain. So let's look at the sales prices of existing home sales in the U.S. Again, this is compliments of the National Association of Realtors. Overall, the median home price is around $311,000, but 1 year ago, it was $271,000. So pretty significant increase there. Also, when we look at the Northeast, look at this difference. $301,000 last year, but look at this year, $354,000. So almost or over a $50,000 increase in just 1 year. The Midwest also had a pretty good price appreciation there, as well as the South, and the West also increased about $50,000 as well. So they say that all 4 regions showed double-digit price growth from a year ago. Regions Northeast, Midwest, South, and West. The Northeast had a gain of 17.4%, the South 15%, the Midwest had an increase of 15%, and the West had a smaller gain, 13.8%. But still, a smallest gain of 13.8%. That's an increase of home prices of 14%. And when you look at the average home prices in California, for example, they're over $700,000. November's inventory fell 9.9% compared to last month. However, when we compare to November 2019, inventory levels dropped 22%. And that marks 18 straight months of year-over-year declines. I talked a lot about this on my channel as well because we had a low housing inventory even before this pandemic hit. And when the pandemic hit, housing inventory absolutely tanked. As you can see here, in April is where we had the stay-at-home orders. A lot of people took their houses off of the market. So inventory in the U.S. dropped drastically in April when compared to March. As you can see here, housing inventory peaked in May and has been decreasing gradually ever since then. From October 2020, 3 of the 4 regions had declines in sales, where the West was flat. Northeast fell 2.2%, Midwest fell a little bit, and so did the South. So when you compare to the previous month of October 2020, we had declines in sales. However, when you compare it to 1 year ago, it's a whole different story. So all 4 regions showed double-digit inclines in sales. The West had the largest gain of 27.3%. The South had an increase of 26%. Again, Northeast and the Midwest, around 25% increase in home sales, even though inventory is down in these regions, which is quite remarkable. And here's basically a graphic of that. So the Northeast, as you can see here, this is 2020, and then In peach here would be in 2019. The Northeast had a big increase, but every single region had an increase of over 20% when you compare it to 1 year ago. They also had a really good graphic here showing how single-family houses have fared against condo sales. So they say that single-family home sales were up 25.6%, while condo sales were up 26.8%. So pretty astonishing that we had more condo sales than home sales in November this year compared to 1 year ago. Single-family homes had an increase in price of 15.1%, and then condos rose 9.5% from November 2019. So it goes to show that you think that a lot of people would be leaving condos because they want more space inside and out, but that's not really the case here. We have about this equal amount of condo sales versus single-family houses, and then even though single-family houses increase at a greater rate than condos, condos still rose 9.5%. This is, again, a really common as well because single-family houses tend to appreciate at a greater rate than condos overall. And that is today's housing market update. I hope you liked this video. If you did, hit the like button. I greatly appreciate that. And also consider subscribing if you haven't done so already. I post videos about how this pandemic is affecting our housing market. I really enjoy making these videos for you. So hope you're getting a lot of value out of them. Also, you can follow me on Instagram. I'm Sacramento Realtor. Hope you have an awesome day. I look forward to seeing you on the next video.